Today, we'll talk about how being a MGTO might help good guys avoid a life of misery. Continue watching if you want to learn more about MGTOW. Societal movements that encourage de facto inequality, as well as the mainstream media. By labeling MGTOW as a patriarchal anti-woman, radical, and separatist movement, they have been forced to use less effective strategies due to a lack of morals and the decline of the so-called developed countries. It is untrue. In addition to the gender war, there is a war against men's freedom of thought and masculinity. Furthermore, it is obvious that free speech is nothing more than a utopia. This idea in opposition to any narrative. Thousands of men are being helped by the establishment, which was used to malign MGTOW, to break free from social restraints and live happier lives. Men Going Their Own Way is the abbreviation for this online social community, which was created as a response to a society that values men less than women and pushes them to define and live their lives on their own. It may also be viewed as an ideology that gives men the confidence to speak up for themselves and respects their right to say no to anything or anyone. It provides nothing novel. For example, most contemporary women paid attention since they were about to understand the fundamentals of this way of thinking. Why does it benefit men? As well as the motives behind some social organizations' testing. As more guys become aware that the traditional life of marriage and children is not a viable choice for them nowadays, MGTOW is growing in popularity. Men's dissatisfaction with social conventions is growing. Unjust laws and mistreatment of women, despite the widespread belief among misled men and women that men who follow their own paths spend their time fapping and playing video games in their mother's cribs. Many guys already hold the opinion that this mentality will aid in the fight for male liberation. By that, I only indicate that the opposite is actually true. Legal injustice has been experienced by the majority of MGTOW men at some point in their lives, leaving them broken. Many women want to fight against costly divorces and false charges in addition to other extremely complex situations. These men reason that males are smart enough to avoid making the same mistakes they did, and that staying single offers greater benefits. Some men claim that because there are still plenty of women in the world, we still value them. That is a really bold statement, and not all women behave in that way. I do agree that not many women in Western countries and other industrialized countries are suitable for marriage. These days, women can easily find casual partnerships, because there are so many options available to them, especially with social media and dating services. While some men share their desire for immediate gratification with these women, some males prefer to remain human DNA free because they find the surprisingly high body or notch repulsive. Let's see how you might implement the MGTOW philosophy. How you can benefit from this incredibly freeing idea. Despite the fact that many women want to be guys, hold leadership positions, and have advanced professionally, MGTOW men find it difficult to convince them to be at-home mothers. Instead of attempting to change social hierarchies, MGTOW males prefer to enjoy themselves in peace by developing their own enterprises, bodies and jobs, etc. Men have always enjoyed building and creating. And men are basic beings, as I often say. So what is a MGTOW to do if ladies want to be more like men? Simply let them be. Don't help them if you aren't being paid. Do anything you can to help them, such as change their flat tire. Instead of bragging about their independence, let them replace their own tire and pay a man to do the work. Focus on your objective, improve yourself, visit a gym or take up a sport. Alternatively, you can work 80 hours each week and transform your urges and desires into creative energy. Other guys will make an effort to follow societal norms, such as pursuing ladies and incurring significant debt to purchase their cars just to appear respectable in front of other men. Because possessions are essentially useless when you stop to think about them. Your worth is not just based on your material stuff. If obtaining them required you to be a slave to debt and credit in the first place, many men prefer to be enormously affluent in silence rather than brag. Men of the MGTOW are not totalitarian. They don't actually hold protests. Monuments should be destroyed or demand more government investment and control. Males who have independent goals, I don't want to change the current situation. Rather than becoming alphas, they favor being sigmas. They enjoy living on their own and not having to defend their choices to others. A MGTOW guy is not bound by any one theology or ideology. MGTOW's principles include not getting married, avoiding pointless fighting, and not having a lifelong relationship with women. There are times when men in the MGTOW community express a desire for a girlfriend or several girlfriends, but you should never think of signing a marriage contract. They might even want to have a child through surrogacy, despite the fact that they are not wed. Again, these are peculiar situations. The underlying factor, however, is a lack of desire for marriage, because divorce is a financially and emotionally draining ordeal. Simply put, MGTOW men oppose marriage and cohabitation. MGTOW males are fighting against the gynocentrism, or rather the feminine privilege that has affected modern society. Many people simply accept concepts like male privilege or the income gap without taking the evidence into account. Public and private institutions prefer women over men. Just think about the quotas that were implemented to help women get certain jobs. Men who take pride in defying gender norms and even choosing artists against MGTOW. I was just talking to a buddy of mine who works for a multinational FMCG company that produces everything from milk to chocolate. He explained to me how the corporation had a quota for the hiring of female department leaders, even if no competent resources are available, and how HR is scrambling to find a qualified person that can genuinely handle the position. And what the heck? They lacked a competent woman to run that division. Due to the quota, they were forced to elect a junior woman as head. Presently, the woman is bragging about it as though she accomplished anything noteworthy. And the firm's public relations department is working its magic to make it seem like the company is such a fantastic place to work. So that is where we are at this point. And if you think this is righteous, then you must stop and consider carefully. According to current ideals, women are now free. In actuality, though, all they have done is turn people into glorified corporate slaves. While some contemporary women reject objectification, they do seek the right to wear whatever they please, even if doing so requires being quite controversial and attention-seeking. They go out more, hardly cover themselves, and simultaneously want respect from good men. In the end, these women are treated with minimal respect, and many guys are only interested in having a one-night fling with them, without considering anything more serious. Despite all of this deterioration, there is still hope for men in the MGTOW universe. The foundation is really solid, as you can see. Yet other men who hold quite different opinions are happier than ever. Many young men and boys are becoming aware of the MGTOW and political correctness movements. It can be challenging to speak without upsetting someone. So you will inevitably encounter allegations or manipulation from a volatile woman. Go for it if you want a lot of ladies but no commitment. Always be respectful, of course, and resist the need to feel as though you are ignoring them or working too hard. If you want to live the Sigma way of life, do it too. Males who follow the MGTOW do not force other men to agree with them. They simply share experiences and encourage real variety, which incidentally is one of their community's strengths. To give your support, click the thumbs up button. Please leave a comment below if you would like to see more videos like this one. Be sure to give it to the guys who are in the most precarious need of it.